Okay, thank you for being here and answering all of our questions. I'm Emily. I'm the current service coordinator of the GLOW Center, and Lauren is here as well, and they are the current advocacy director. Hello. Okay, so my first question, also, I'd like to let you know I'm not very experienced at this, so this one is a little bit different. Okay. What I want is for everyone to answer this question. It'll be very simple, a yes, and then which service. So I'd like to know if you've been directly involved with one of the services, either through volunteering or having a direct play in planning one of the events with one of our collaborators or partners. So yes, and then which service? Who should we start with? We'll go Nova, Spark, and then Green.
So no, I actually haven't had a planning level role in any of the services, but I've attended a lot of the different events.
Okay, so I just want a yes or which service, or no, and then that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and I've actually been involved with GLOW.
Yes, and GLOW.
Yes, some interaction with all in my role in co-op with VPN.
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
Yes, with CRT.
Yes, with Women's Center.
Yes, what sustainable initiative?
Yes, with OCC.
No.
No.
Unfortunately, no, but many events.
Thank you. Okay, so for our second question, we're going to direct this to the presidents. I've worked with feds a lot, and I found that sometimes working with the employees, they're not familiar with LGBTQ plus issues. What GLOW's proposing is that we would do a sensitivity and inclusivity training with all of the feds executives and the employees. Would you be willing to be a part of that, and how would you help support us in doing that? Thank you. Okay. Spark, Nova, Green.
Thank you for the question. That is definitely one of our initiatives in our platform and in our values as Team Spark, and we actually want to start that with the administration of feds collaborating with you to put that on and actually train all the employees. So I'm definitely for that initiative. Thank you.
Yes, I would love for that to happen, and I really think it's a fantastic idea, and it would benefit all of feds as an organization, and it's something that I'd actually really love to try and extend out to the other student societies and clubs across campus, because I think it's a really good initiative and it's a sensitive topic that a lot of people could benefit from having exposure to.
Yes, definitely. I think this is a priority for feds. Everyone should be aware of those issues and should know how to act upon it. So yeah, I definitely push with administration, operation and finance to deal with all the feds employees to make sure that we do get this training for all the feds employees. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is directed at the VP Operation. I hope this is the right person to direct it to. Okay, so our service is limited to the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Do you understand the reasons behind this? And Feds does own Turnkey. Will you change this for us? Thank you.
Who's first?
So VP Ops, but I'm not sure if that's the correct person. Oh, order. Green, Spark, Nova.
Okay, so as to why feds would decided to have the offices shut down
close at that specific time would be related to student security issues. But I would personally, this is a similar issue that we spoke about with the Women's Center, and I would personally push to the administration and the councils and like the meetings basically to have them open for more hours, because what many of the services you guys offer too is related, like people can just walk in, they can be offered like with counseling or peer-to-peer support, and that's important to be open longer than 10 o'clock, because sometimes, like Wednesday Bomber, for example, that's an example of people that maybe are facing difficult situations and they want to have some people to talk to. So the thing that I would what to say? The thing that I would maybe use to keep the offices open is just propose maybe locking one main door, and then however letting all of the students with a sign or something know that the offices are open, and then make some way like a connection between the student and the actual office, just so the door can open and they go in. But definitely keeping the offices open for later hours is an important issue that needs to be addressed. Thank you.
So the reason the GLOW office is closed overnight is really a security issue. It's really a safety, and as much as I don't like to consider people being targeted, it's very dangerous to be alone in an office like that overnight, and that's why many of the areas on campus don't have people overnight in offices. That goes for things like the MC Comfy. The reason we don't want people sleeping there is because it's a safety and a security issue. We want our students to feel safe, and I understand that you want your students to always have that 24-hour support, and that's really why we should look at other ways that you can support the students without sacrificing any of the safety and the security of your volunteers. I'd rather see your volunteers safe than having the office open overnight and anything happening. So looking at maybe ways you can interact online, or ways to kind of build on that 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. window and really support your students effectively during those hours, just so that we're not compromising safety or security by leaving it open overnight.
Fantastic question, especially for your service. So one of the main, obviously, what everybody else has said is safety is a massive concern. Things that we can look at to alleviate that issue is increased turnkey patrols for people heading up in through that area, just to kind of see what's going on. We can also try to work with UW Police to create sort of a patrol system as well, just to make sure that that area is always looked after and always secure. And there's possibility for some design improvements as well within the hallway. In terms of potentially like mirrors. I know that cameras are not something that we want up there because there is the identity issue in terms of people using the service. So creativity, I think, would be the biggest asset in terms of dealing with those issues. But great question.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is for the VP internal candidates. We have many issues that we advocate for, such as gender-neutral washrooms, improving residence for first-year students, and a lot of other things. How do you think that feds can support these projects for us? And we'll be going Nova, Spark, Green.
So again, I've touched on this previously in the debate, but I think the best way that feds can support services, especially when it's issues that not a lot of people are educated about, is by increasing advocacy and increasing collaboration. And these two go hand in hand. So advocacy is, just the act of pushing out the messages and making sure you're doing it in a constructive and educational manner. But the more important one is collaboration, because when we do advocacy by ourselves, we're only targeting the people we usually target, and those people are usually informed. So a key component of our platform is really working with other student groups and societies to expand these relationships and make sure we're targeting people from other groups. So again, personally, I've been really involved as a GLOW liaison this term with the Engineering Society, and one of the things I really wanted to do was take the issues of GLOW and make sure it was presented in my own faculty, which doesn't really have a strong GLOW presence. And because of my involvement with this, I think I have the experience necessary to facilitate the same kind of expansion towards other student groups, and that's something I'd really be interested in doing.
So I think one way Feds can really support the GLOW Center with advocacy is increased working more with the VP Education. Right now, the VP Education does most of the lobbying for Feds. They have very good relationships with the university, or in some cases, very strong lobbying relationships with the university, and they have very good connections with the community. The VP Internal does most of the running the services, clubs, and societies. If I think the VP Internal was working more actively with the VP Education in empowering clubs like and services like GLOW to work with the VP Education portfolio, that would really increase your advocacy power. And then myself, I've worked as an academic affairs commissioner with the VP Ed, so I bring a lot of that advocacy experience, and I think you guys will be, services like the GLOW Center, Women's Center would really, and Sustainable Campus would really benefit from my experience as an advocate. Thank you.
This is a gender issue and it's very sensitive. We need to work with BPOF to initiate more awareness about such procedures, and I also want to be in touch with admin of university in order to solve these type of problems, because we have to find a way to do it in a much better way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our next our next question is for the president, and it is, how do you see GLOW playing a role in orientation for this coming year? And so it will be Green Nova Spark.
So I already like how GLOW is an integrated part of orientation already. I think we could improve more services, and I think we actually need sorry, can you? Okay.
We're actually not an integrated part of orientation, so that's actually incorrect.
Okay, but
We would like to be.
yeah. Okay. So basically, I think we actually need a GLOW event during orientation. Like maybe if we could make Drag Me to the Bomber during orientation. I personally like that show. So if we could have that during orientation, we could make students more aware of these issues and more aware of GLOW. And what I meant previously is that we did get a lot of like notifications about GLOW and that it exists, and that's what I meant, not as an integrated as an events during orientation. So just to clarify, thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So I've been involved with orientation quite a bit over my years. I was FOC in 2011 for math. I was an orientation programs assistant where I got to work with Danielle, kind of helping guide FOC through the learning process. I think there's a lot of ways that like we can help integrate GLOW. I think Single and Sexy is one piece that kind of touches on it, but maybe getting you guys more involved with some of the planning around that. And I think at the end of the day, what it really is getting you guys involved with some of the planning process, setting up meetings with the different faculty committees, with the cross-campus committee, so that they can find a way that will effectively reach their students the messages that you need to get across. So it's not necessarily making a services day, but it's finding unique and interesting ways for each individual group to integrate the important messages into their programming, so that way it's done effectively and it really meets the individual students' needs.
Thank you for the great question. I think that we can definitely incorporate GLOW within Orientation Week. There's so many night events that have a variety term or piece to them. We actually have variety night. We have the Wednesday night where recently it's become a central mixer. I think adding an event on any one of these nights would work in your favor and would educate students across the board, so not necessarily faculty-based. Also, teaming up with the SSO because the SSO communicates with Feds a lot during the orientation planning process, so it'd be an easy sort of liaison through Feds to the SSO, because they do offer the academic sort of based sessions during the day, which again targets cross-faculty people. So that would be great to also get you incorporated in there. And even just a branding presence in Orientation Week, putting your logo on different pamphlets, things we hand out, awareness right off the bat, so first-year students know that this service is available. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so our next question is directed towards the VP Education. You're welcome. But not really, because this one is extremely hard. Okay. So, how do you plan on advocating for queer and trans students at the federal and provincial level? And so we're going to go, this one?
Yes.
Spark Green Nova. Sorry.
And, okay.
Do you want me to repeat the question?
Sure.
Just once?
Thank
Okay.
you.
So how do you plan on advocating for queer and trans students at the federal and provincial level?
So definitely bringing up, I'm an inclusive person, and being VP Education, we do take part with USA and CASA, so using them to take this on as a theme within their proposals to the government itself. So just including the groups in any kind of proposal, whether it has to do with tuition or whether it has to do with OSEP or whatever it is, including this group. So when they define like students, like students from minority groups, to add that addition, you know, minorities and trans and queer, lovely people. So USA and CASA is the goal of the.
I know it's green.
So at the previous USA GA, there was a discussion group on issues on those issues, and I know that there were many participants, including Adam, and I do believe that they did come up with quite a few ideas for future policy papers. And so on the topic of policy papers, having a policy paper that includes potential priorities regarding these issues would probably be very effective to making change. USA and CASA work through their policy papers and then advocate to the provincial and federal government. And if we have a policy paper that includes recommendations on these issues, then they are able to then advocate on them. So that's what I would try and do, is include these issues in a policy paper so that we'd be able to work on them in advocacy.
Both USA and CASA their primary focus is on educational advocacy. So while there is some access things that are brought up around these issues, it's not, in my opinion, maybe the best avenue to go down to look at the things that you guys are interested in. One thing that I would also like to comment is that I feel that the people that are most capable of advocating for these issues is GLOW. It's not me, because I don't have an intimate understanding of the issues. So what I would like to do is meet with local politicians, whether they're provincial or federal, and bring someone from your group along with you. And let you attack the problems, and I can be there as a support, because you'll do a much better job. It's also worth noting as well that there will be a discussion later this month on the Federation of Students' involvement in CASA, which is the federal level. If we were to be removed from that committee, it would allow us to set our own agenda for federal advocacy, and that would mean that something like more access could be a top priority.
Okay, thank you. This question, I'm not really sure. Just one more? Yeah, just one more. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna ask the question, and then if someone could decide like who will answer it. Yeah, okay, yeah, that works. Okay, so it's gonna go Nova Green Spark, just so you know. Everyone keeps on talking about having a central location where students can access information about our events, where services can post their events, and all of that kind of thing. How are you going to make sure this will not be a failure like Feds Connect? We've had a lot of problems with Feds Connect, and yeah, thank you.
So I finally get to talk about marketing and Feds Connect and all the exciting things that I love to talk about, so thank you so much for the question. So in terms of making your events available to students, a lot of it has to do with making it easy for students to access. The challenge with Feds Connect is it's really not easy to access. And I know that the marketing department has been really working hard to kind of promote Feds Connect and really reach out to a lot of students, and they've seen a lot of people join. They just haven't seen a lot of people use Feds Connect. So that's going to be a real challenge in the next year. But there's kind of two ways we can make sure that your events are being promoted well and have that success. One of them is making sure that we promote you guys to other groups on campus. So being able to showcase GLOW at something like engineering has been working amazing, and that's something we want to do again. The other side is looking at engaging with students, not just from an individual level, but Feds as a whole. So if we want to talk about LGBTQ and all of that area and that kind of advocacy and that awareness, it's great to do it at the GLOW level, but we really should be doing it at the Federation of Students level so that students that don't know about GLOW still have that access and still can learn about your service, and that's really what we want to make sure we're doing next year.
Okay, so bringing up Feds Connect, I actually don't think it's hard to use. It's just the only issue with Feds Connect is that there's no reason for the students to go out and check it out every day like we check Facebook or Twitter or stuff like that. So if we, and that was actually a quote from Ryan, and basically like if we just if we brainstorm and collaborate together and think of a reason, a good enough reason for the students to check Feds Connect on a daily aspect, then that would improve the marketing for GLOW. And in addition to that, I think the ideas that both Danielle and Mo gave about integrating an event at or during orientation week, that would increase awareness for GLOW. And in addition to that, like that following with Feds Connect becoming more popular and everything like that, I think that would be a successful way of marketing GLOW. Thank you.
Fantastic question, and it's one that I think hits a lot of students, not only your service, but all the different clubs, everything like that. It's a very dominant topic when we think about Feds and the communication. Actually, I'm going to reference Ryan as well. So I met with Ryan a couple of days ago. It was a fantastic conversation. But I think the biggest thing that I got out of that is that the marketing department is just getting their butts kicked right now. Like there's so much going on in Feds that it's really hard to prioritize who gets what sort of media time and where all that information goes. So I think empowering students to work with the marketing department and really looking at the positions that they have and how they're utilizing the people that they have. We were talking at length about Jackie's position and how she has, like, I can't even count them all on my fingers, all the different things that she has to do. And in terms of supporting those staff who obviously have the best intentions in mind, but empowering students to help them and really increasing the efficiency of that department. In terms of Feds Connect, I have to say that I don't really like it. I don't think that it's a positive medium for Feds. I think it's really given us a bad image, to be honest. So I think Feds Connect could go, but we can increase the efficiency of the marketing department by supporting the staff that are there.
Awesome. So that's all of our questions. Thank you for answering them. Thanks to Sai for organizing this. And GLOW looks forward to training you in the future.
Sorry, we don't actually have time for audience questions as it is already past 2:30, but we'd just like to thank all the candidates for coming out today, and a representative from each of your team has 120 seconds to give a recap, or not a recap, what's it called? Closing statement, thanks. Who's first? Sure.
Hello? Okay, now it's on. So again, on behalf of Team Nova, we'd really like to thank everyone who came out to these debates, and we'd really, really like to thank the moderators for doing such a great job hosting. So can we get one more round of applause for the moderators? They were awesome. And it's evident from the caliber of the discussion that happened here that a lot of these issues relating to student services is something that all the teams are deeply passionate about. So we really want to thank all of the teams for providing some really great and meaningful discussion. So to close off, I just want to highlight a few of the common themes that came up here in the debate. So there were 3 issues that were really emphasized time and time again, and this was the issue of space, the issue of advocacy and marketing, and finally the issue of collaborating with student societies. And each of these are important to all 6 services. Space is important because having better space leads to better visibility and a more welcoming environment. More advocacy is important because it leads to greater awareness, and more collaboration is important because it leads to a broader audience, which is what we all want. So these are all strong issues that Team Nova has specific solutions to. So we're looking at the problem of space, we're looking at the problem of acquiring more space for more students, and looking to see how we can work with having a social space like SLC, as well as study space. Okay, so I have to close off now. You can find out more about our platform at gofornova.com. We are the most experienced team to deal with this. Thank you.
Thank you again for organizing this wonderful debate. We've had all a great time. I'd firstly like to say that Ragda has a presentation right now in her speech communications course, and that's why she is no longer with us. So personally in the past, I've enjoyed working with Sai and attending their events, and this has been another great thing that they've put on here today. Some things that we've discussed have been our website and revamping it and how that would help all the Fed services and all students in general, as well as our app. We also had lots of discussion about space and the space audit and what will come out of it, hopefully. And in conclusion, I'd like to wish Salim a happy birthday. All the other teams did, and I don't know if we did. And enjoy your birthday.
So thank you, Kate and Nicole, for organizing this. I know if I was a service coordinator and I wasn't running, I would have come up with like really hard questions to ask everyone. So thank you. My involvement with Feds began with the services, and I've spent a lot of time talking to all of you over the past few months. It's because we care. It's because Team Spark cares. It's because that's why we have organized all these meetings with service coordinators over the past few months and with the services manager. We want for there to be a Feds that's not focused solely on council, commercial services, and policy making. We want for there to be a Feds that takes pride in the services that we offer. A Feds where all the exec and all the staff are supportive of all the services. The services, again, as I said, is where my heart lies, and I believe that I am the best candidate to be your VP internal. I believe that Daniel's the best candidate to be your president, and Renish for your VP Ed, and Ben as your VP OF. And I'm confident that Team Spark can rely on your support in this election. Vote for Team Spark. Thank you.
Cool. Is that a wrap?
Can we do one more? One more?
Just if we could have some assistance in stacking some of the chairs, that'd be really great. Thanks all for coming out.
Oh, gosh.
That was